Good. Uh-huh. John Doe is here. Um, Alright, I gotta see if I don't need this screen. Alright, let's see. Just need to see how this audio sounds. We'll start in 10 minutes. All right, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Okay. Okay, mic sounds good. Okay. I have. Okay. Let's see. Just gotta load everything up. How's everyone doing today? Everyone's having a lovely day. Excited for the future. Let's see. That is. Just joined the stream. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, it's almost about to start. It says it's open. Oh, there it is. Do that. Wait. I guess I don't. Yes, color change is amazing. Jay, why you gotta play modded? You already know you get banned automatically. Please don't mod my game. Oh, yeah, that's right. John Doe! Oh, I gotta figure that out. Jeez. Alright, hold on 1 second. Where is, John Doe? I'm giving you. I don't know if you've done moderators permissions before on like YouTube live stream, but I gave you mod. Just in case. I gotta figure out who else from staff is here. No, nighttime theme will actually stay the same. I don't have any plans to adjust it. I know nighttime has a similar color palette to the new revised 1.3 version, but I'm not gonna change the old themes because I do think there's a, even though it's a minor difference, it's still a big difference when you compare it. Oh, you're at work right now? Oh man, I'm about to. Okay, never mind. I gotta see if someone else is gonna be. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to manage both. But I mean, it's not gonna be as crazy, so I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, anything can happen, but I'll have to figure out who else in staff is here. Hello, Wawi Akun 2. Welcome to the stream. I'll talk more once I can finalize other moderators I have on Discord to just moderate chat. Not, like I said, I'm not expecting too much to go on. I mean, this is, after all, developer live stream where we're just going to be going over a lot of the things that I had talked about yesterday in Discord, and we had issues, audio issues, and I was supposed to record it and upload it, and what ended up happening was it automatically muted everything, and my recording was muted, and so I just spent an hour and a half just recording nothing. So today's live stream is a repeat of yesterday's live stream where we're going to be going over oh, actually I should pull that out on my phone because I had the notes on my phone. We will be going over, let's see, my hand update, balance update, why the colors are changing, some more 1.3, OneBit Adventure 1.3 we'll be talking about, as well as the new project Roped Together and what that is all about. So we're gonna spend I'm assuming an hour and a half, only because a lot of the things is repeated from yesterday, so I kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be saying for today's live stream. But for anyone that has any questions, feel free to chat, and I will put your questions in the chat and I will answer them accordingly. If it does get lost in a sea of messages, I will definitely try to get back and answer them for you. Questions could be anything about OneBit Adventure, about the new project, feedback, suggestions, bug reports. Bug reports, definitely send it to the website forum, so you can. I'll get back to that. So. Okay. Let me see, where is it? Oh, and you get to hear the amazing soundtrack by Scotty again. I know you guys loved that yesterday. That was amazing. Maybe we'll do some coding. Maybe we can throw Isaac into OneBit Adventure if he's still here. Oh, you asked. Oh, Isaiah, you asked a question about the last video I uploaded. Oh, certainly got. Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments from the last video, but I don't see your question at all. I've answered pretty much every comment. Oh, I mean, there's one by Duraton. It said maybe Soul Knight, the online test? Question mark, but I don't see you on here. So if you want to ask about it right now, I'll go ahead and answer it. All right, do we have an estimated date for open beta on Second Professions? Actually, we'll be talking about that today. It's going to be the coming months. I'm going to be combining the Thief and Archer professions into one update, but there's a situation with my hand, so we'll talk about that. I mean, it's definitely something I want to get into and discuss. But yeah, let's go ahead. Pause the music because we are ready to begin our little live stream that we have going on. Let's see. Look at that, we're good. All right. What is up, you guys? This is Jonathan Concepcion, and today I am going to be talking about OneBit Adventure version 1.3 in terms of what you can expect for that update, as well as a new project called Rogue Together, where this is going to be the answer to why OneBit... Well, let me backtrack, because we made a video on YouTube where we try to make multiplayer into OneBit Adventure. And that was one thing, was like, okay, how would it feel? How would it be? But one of the main things is OneBit Adventure was made from the ground up to be a single player game. And in terms of it being multiplayer, it'd be like fantastic. But the problem is the game was built as single player. Trying to add multiplayer to this game is much like Dice. You're better off just completely scrapping the project and redoing everything. So my answer to this, let me see if, oh wait, I'm gonna have to adjust the audio on this, but there you go. Well, my answer to this was going to be, well, work on Dungeon Agreed, which you guys probably have seen Dungeon Agreed videos, and if you haven't, it's on the channel. That was initially the idea to be the sequel to OneBit Adventure, and in terms of the story and everything, it's still not finalized, but a problem being that a lot of the design for Dungeon Agreed is going to require a lot more resources. As of now, OneBit Adventure is my main source of income, and it doesn't give me enough leverage to try to afford creating Dungeon Agreed. So my new project, Rogue Together, is going to be the next upcoming project. That one is ASCII based, but there is a bloom effect, which you'll be able to adjust how you want the game to look. It's not going to be like too crazy on your eyes. Trust me, it will be for the trailer, but there will be settings to adjust all that stuff. But the main premise is I'm decided to work on the new project in terms of trying to make a OneBit multiplayer without taking a huge risk, because I don't have the resources to do that. And we'll get into that in a bit. So the goal of today's video, today's video, as if I'm doing a video. Today's live stream is to talk about 1.3 1-bit adventure, why the colors are changing, balance update, and then onto the new project that we will be discussing. So I asked if the design for Rogue Together was staying similar to how you showed it, or if it was going to resemble 1-bit adventure a little. So that yeah, I didn't see that question in the video, but essentially that is going to be a mix. Okay, so the whole idea is to bring a new vision that hasn't been done before, and that was to bring the original Rogue and bring it to a newer generation where it works and plays like 1-bit because of the mechanics, but also the visuals was going to be, it starts off as 1-bit and you guys will like freak out because it's going to be like, wait, I thought this was Rogue Together kind of thing. And then slowly you will devolve into this digital world, which is the internals of the Eternal Wraith. So spoiler alert, 1-bit adventure in terms of the story is going to lead on to Rogue Together, is where you're inside the Internal Wraith, and that's where you get the digital format. So it will resemble 1-bit in the beginning, but then it will transition into the digital world. Oh yeah, the chest shimmer. We'll talk about that. Okay, I'm messing with different things. Okay, we'll just hold off on the chest shimmer just now. Okay, so let's start off with the first thing, which is the hand update. So, and I didn't post this anywhere on YouTube, but I think maybe my last videos I talked about it briefly. My hand is still recovering, and so one of the main things is I have a little knob on between my thumb and my index finger, and that hasn't gone away. I talked to the doctors, and they basically said 8 to 10 weeks before we can officially find out if it's a foreign object or if it's something that's gonna heal and go away. It hurts a little, but it doesn't hurt as much as it did before. I'm able to flex my hand, and essentially that pushed back the steampunk dungeon update that I had going, because I was really trying to overwork myself, and I overworked to the point where I ended up hurting myself. So that happened. That happened. So that was my hand. Thankfully, he's feeling better. You might hear my dog in my background. I did take him out this time, and he is probably barking because my wife just left for to hang out with her friend. I, on the other hand, have the house all to myself, and I can be as loud as I want now, except my dog also will probably want to go outside. But yeah. So that is the hand update. Mono, have you thought about messing around with biomes and stuff in the overworld? Details in Discord forums. Well. In terms of messing around with the biomes, I think one of the things, I don't think I have tiled on here. Let me see if I have tiled. No. It's on my other PC. Well, tiled is a software I use in order to create these maps. And in terms of IDs and getting them all together, pieced together, they're actually chunks. And I haven't delved too much into adjusting the overworld, only because when I did, later on, I messed with the IDs of the file, and all of a sudden certain worlds got not corrupted, but I can't edit it. It'll end up blank. I load the image, and then all of a sudden it's blank. Like, I can't do anything with it. So that was one of the things I ended up holding back on. So the last big update we did, we updated 100 biomes. That was last year for the overworld specifically. The next step was, part of the story mode update was the trees were going to end up decaying the further you go, and that was going to lead on to, well, the Eternal Wraith is destroying the world, and therefore the world is slowly degrading the further you go, and that's what's supposed to happen. Um, but that was the only other thing that I was gonna do for biomes. I can't mess around too much with the layouts of the beginning levels. Of course, I can make new ones, but it kind of defeats the purpose. I can't edit the old ones without having to redo them manually. So, can we get a try hard? Try hard hardcore series again while you talk. Ooh, I don't know about that. You guys want to see the developer play one bit and then end up dying a lot? Because that's exactly what's gonna happen. Me playing hardcore mode and then dying over and over and over and over. What did we? I forgot what we called our character. Maybe we did call it try hard. I don't know what we called it, but yeah, definitely might be fun. Who knows? I had also asked if the gameplay would add classes too, which from the sound of it, it would, since you start off in a 1-bit theme. Yeah. So I'm assuming you're talking about Rogue Together. Let me know if you're talking about Rogue Together. Yes, I did call them try hard 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, and then he kept on dying, and that's what ended up happening. Yeah, let me know, Isaiah, if you're referring to Rogue Together, because okay, so yeah. So everything you love about 1-bit adventure in terms of the professions, the skills, the way you find equipment and you can upgrade it, that is going to be part of Rogue Together. So that's what I mean by bringing 1-bit into a Rogue world in terms of bringing the old into the new. Yes, the only thing that's going to be very much different is, of course, 1-bit doesn't have as much animations, and Rogue Together is going to be more ASCII based, so it's not as familiar visually. It's going to be in the beginning, but then later on it's going to be like, oh, it feels like a different game, but when you actually move around it feels like 1-bit. Like, if you probably hear, well, I don't have everything settled yet, so it really is in a prototype phase, so I can't really like show it to you and be like, well, this is how it feels. But yes, you can essentially pick out that if you transition from 1-bit to Rogue Together, you'll be able to play the same way and understand it the same way, but visually looks different. So the multiplayer aspect is going to be the one key difference when you do end up playing it. So let's go over the balance update, which someone did point out that we had different things in terms of questions on how this update would be. So balance in terms of, I think it was a Colossal Bow that had Berserker damage. Yeah. So this is not going to be something, this was created by Dyron, and Dyron helped along with John Doe to make this sheet in order to give better buffs to all the equipments in 1-bit Adventure. And it's unfortunate that I didn't have enough time to like take a look at the old drops and compare it to the new drops, and then it ended up being like, for instance, like certain weapons were weaker even though they were boss exclusive drops, which I don't want that feeling to happen, and therefore this spreadsheet, 90%, not 100%, 90% of the things that you see on this spreadsheet is going to be added in what's going to be called the balance update for 1-bit Adventure. So, and you'll notice a lot of these are buffs to different equipments. But for the sake of letting you know that if you see something on this spreadsheet that you do not like, you can let me know. Take a screenshot if you want, but don't expect this to be the final balance update. So that's the main thing for the balance update, and I can't really go into too much details because, like I said, I got this from Dyron, and John Doe worked on this, and I don't want to say that I know 100% of this. This is a lot to like take in, but as I go through and update the game, I will look at it and be like, oh wait, deals underwhelming damage, only used to lower HP. Yeah, that seems like a good benefit for the Divine Blade. We'll go ahead and adjust the values. And he does have the values set for me in terms of how I want to get it to where it needs to be. So you can expect this. See, one of the things that I think this update would be the easiest to work on and push out along with the color change to OneBit Adventure. And that's going to be one update that isn't too major, but it's something that I could do and release it to you guys. So, and going over this 100% is not final. Think of 90% of what you see is going to be something that I will be adding. In terms of the color changing, I think for the majority of the game, when I was playing not playing OneBit Adventure, but when I was comparing OneBit Adventure to other games in terms of thumbnails and seeing how they look, it kind of stuck out to me that it felt a little bit washed. And I don't say it's like a bad thing, but it's more or less if you were to come across it together, it didn't pop out as much. And the only difference with the old version and the new version is the main darker colors. It's more darker, but also I guess it makes the white colors pop out more. So definitely is going to be one of the biggest change, but it is going to be free to have the legacy version of the themes. And when you are updating which should be the next major update, when you are updating to this and you still have the legacy theme, you don't lose it. You're still going to keep it. Default will only be applied to new players. So if you create a new account with the new update, this will be the default, But yeah, definitely don't expect the legacy theme to go away. I know a lot of people are going to be sad if I do just remove it from the theme shop. That's why I'm leaving that there, at least for now. Other players suggested, well, let's try to make it an exclusive day, maybe like for like the month that OneBit Adventure released, which was August. Maybe the month of August it appears, but for now this is going to be staying as free. So other than that, yeah, we still have quite a bit of themes going, but I did ended up fixing up the theme shop a bit, and you might notice some differences. I think it was just so that when I create a theme, I have to manually place every single like image. Now I coded it so it just auto places it for me as soon as I add a theme. So a little bit of a quality of life for me as a programmer. So, but yeah. Can you add Malaysian language in the next update? You see, translations is a lot of work. Like localization, I give props to all the translation editors, but it also is a lot of work to maintain. The biggest portion being that if we look at, I haven't even added Vietnamese because we still have a lot of English words that has been translated, and I actually don't know where the translator for that one is, but it is easily going to be the hardest thing is adding a new translation. I'm all for any people that want to come in and help translate. That is certainly fine with me. But in terms of getting it done, it is very hard in this current stage. And I think, we could open up just the English file and just show you, but yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. So I don't even know if it's going to show me. Oh, it doesn't show me the lines. I thought it was going to show me the lines. Or is it just loading? Huh, interesting. Yeah, it usually shows me the line code for the left side so I could see how many lines is it. But yeah, it's pretty big. So when it comes to translating the game, it's easy to ask for it, request it, but then when someone gets into the nitty-gritty, it really doesn't happen as quickly, or it is overwhelming for the most part. Alright, let's see the next thing. So Steampunk Dungeon. I think for the most part, I hope I still have it going on. Wait, actually, let's just create a new character. I just don't know if I have the hotkey for it, but we'll see. The steampunk dungeon is still being worked on, and the the only sad part is I am planning on canceling the steampunk dungeon for now. So I did have an artist work on um, some of the assets in this dungeon, but the only problem was I didn't have. Well, this was okay. So this was the mix between what happened with my hand, and then the motivation to try to complete this dungeon. It all didn't align perfectly, and there's still so much other things that I want to do in this dungeon and the enemies. So, but the next thing I wanted to end up doing was stepping back and seeing how the community was doing. Um, this is actually okay. The Reaper spawning here, ignore it because this is just the steampunk dungeon that I just put numbers in and it's just copying and pasting. But the dungeon that the community is making on Discord, the Enchanted Forest, which is a major project that the community has done, that one is for sure going to be the next dungeon to focus on. And I think there's just so many assets that were made by the community that it makes it so easy to get excited for. So yes, expect that. And I think oh yeah, that was the point where we were trying to look at um look at what assets were in the steampunk dungeon. And where was it? Yeah. Oh, we could jump back to the top. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so yeah, Enchanted Forest is going to be, instead of Steampunk Dungeon, I am going to be focusing on the Enchanted Forest. That is going to be a lot of plant-based enemies, abandoned shacks. There's the Corrupted Forest, and that leads on to the Eternal Wraith story. So it blends well. Let me answer some questions. No, I'm not going to watch out for death status. I know. I'm just going to reset my run. Where's the story? So we're going to do a story update in the future. We'll talk more about story in a bit. But for now, the Enchanted Forest is going to be a main focus. One thing for certain, the Reapers only spawn if you skip 2 campfires. That was updated. So skip 2 campfires and the Reapers will spawn after 5,000 steps. So be sure to do that. That was the only major nerf. So people hardly see Reapers only if you skip campfires. And you get double enemies to spawn, so double the amount. Just make sure to do it in overworld. So, but yeah, this is all. Again, there's a lot more stuff. This list goes on and on. As you can tell, this has been since October. And these guys have been working hard on it. So, yeah, I'm really excited to go back and absorb all of this and try to see what we can do in terms of getting this in the game. Look at this, a boss idea with the eyeball. Yeah. So, in terms of OneBit Adventure 1.3, I want to let's step back with what we're trying to do right now. So, right now we have the Archer and the Thief profession that was supposed to release January, but due to my hand hurting, I ended up pushing it back and pushing it back. But instead of doing one profession at a time, I am going to be doing Thief and Archer profession in one update, and then the Enchanted Forest dungeon in another update. Sorry. Those 3 are going to be in one update. And I'm going to slowly work on it in the coming months so I can release it as one big update. In terms of once I get to 1.3 is when I introduce the story update. And that story update is going to be a big part of what we're really supposed to be talking about in terms of One Bit Adventure and how the story goes. Um, it really was hard for me to work on dialogue script when I first did it because I wasn't sure how to do it. But now that I've worked over the years, it's like, well, I messed up this, I messed up that. So, for instance, if we go to Christopher the Third, this is the dialogue script. So yeah, let me say that, yeah, will more NPCs be present for the story update? Yeah, that is the main goal. So the story update, you're gonna have a sense of purpose, you're gonna have more branching story, and the game actually will save your decisions that you've done. One of the problems that I did was, so if you're familiar with Christopher the Third, he is in the mines and he's bleeding out. He needs an antidote. Uh, you either give him an antidote and he lives, or you fail to give him or don't give him, he will die. But the game doesn't know that. It just knows that you picked the decision, but it doesn't save what decision you picked. So this was a problem with how I coded it, the way that dialogues are stored, which if you can see right now, this is a big list that's in a script just to keep track of dialogue, and the dialogues are linked to IDs, which it doesn't give me flexibility in terms of what saves. So, in general, I want to redo the whole entire story. So, in the story update, all the dialogues will be reset. So, you are going to get a new story, but also decisions that are saved. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. So, to answer your question, Isaiah, if you don't have the antidote on hand, he will die. But what ends up happening is the game will check to see if you have an antidote. So you're not forced into a situation where you don't have it, unless you use your final antidote right in front of him. Then that basically means you have no antidote. But when he spawns, the game will check to see if you have an antidote. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. So it's a good question. The game will check to see if you had an antidote. The general idea is to strategize and be like, well, if I want to meet with Christopher without killing him, oh, it's not true? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you're right. Oh, yep. Okay, I think the cross check for Christopher might just be the steps. Christopher, yeah. There's that case 9. Yeah, this might end up being no, the cross check would be in once he spawns, but yeah, this is where the hard part comes in with trying to figure out which NPC is where. Like, look at this. This is this is not good programming. I mean, in terms of trying to figure out where Christopher is, yeah, and it might end up being, yeah, he might just spawn. Okay, I think we might have, no, he's not here. Oh, there he is. So, yeah, you're right. So there's a random chance for him to spawn. I don't know. Oh my goodness, why is this here? This is so strange. Oh my gosh. You guys are hurting me. If you're a programmer and you do a random range from 0 to 100, but check if it's less than 100, it is guaranteed to always be. It is guaranteed. I don't know why I did that. Don't know. And then I did and then check for it to be a 10%, so it checks if it's 100%. See, this is my dilemma, and this is why I want to redo the story. But yeah, you are correct. It does not check to see if you have an antidote. The whole purpose was for it to check to see if you have an antidote, but it does not check. So, yes, with the story update, I'll definitely be doing that, but also be fixing that. So, will this new boss be difficult to fight? I mean, with every boss, there's strategy. Most bosses have a amount of steps after they do an attack, and that's usually the strategy. Planning ahead and seeing where he does a fireball attack, then I have 3 turns to attack here. So yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily they're gonna be hard, but I do try to keep it reasonable, so that you don't get unfairly cheated when you're fighting them. Um, but yeah, so that is the main thing for the story update. Expect that to be after the Archer, Thief, and Enchanted Forest update. So, Archer, Thief, Enchanted Forest dungeon update will be all in one in the coming months. It's not going to be next month. I have 8 to 10 weeks to see if my hand heals 100%, but I am going to release a minor update for the color palette and for the balance update, and then work on the next professions and dungeon. Then after that, it will be the story update, and that will be the update where everything will change. Everything that goes on from beginning to end, and there will be an end in terms of story, but not an end towards your steps, if that makes sense. So, yes, it is going to be very much like, oh, we basically reached, well, spoiler, we reached the Eternal Wraith's ending story, and then it ends there story-wise. But you can keep playing, you can keep climbing the steps for rankings for as much as you want, just so you can reap the rewards. So, oh, all right, whew. That was a lot to talk about. That was just for the update for OneBit Adventure. There is another thing that will lead on to the Pathfinding, but yeah. Oh, so Hamsel, what up? Why you gotta call me Johnny Boy? Only few people call me Johnny Boy. People that know me. So yeah. Now let's move on to the next step, which is pathfinding. Players that have been playing OneBit Adventure for as long as possible, or even when you just started playing, you might have noticed. Oh, I gotta fix the color palette real quick. I do not want to add a Johnny Boy pet to the game. If I do, then I'm calling myself a pet. I'm not a pet, okay? Just saying. But moving on to the pathfinding, you guys may have already noticed that enemies don't actually move. Oh, actually, I don't want to ruin this. Oh man. Okay. So enemies move based off of the closest tile they are to you. And when you do that, they can get stuck in an aggro state of trying to get to you, but they're not near you, kind of thing. Okay, right here. So right here, if we set him to... Let's see if I can find him first. If we set this goblin to aggression, where is the aggression? Aggro, 100% aggressive, range of 6 tiles. He will always be stuck. He is not smart enough to go around, and that is a problem, right? That is a problem. This is one thing that I do want to change in OneBit Adventure, is have it be smart. Have the enemies be able to move to you if they are smart enough. Like goblins, obviously they're aggressive, therefore they should be trying to go closer to you once they are locked onto you. So one of the things I have been messing around with in Dungeon Agreed was how to get them to pathfind. We'll get into the particles in a bit, okay? That was one thing right here I'm still trying to avoid you guys seeing because it's not supposed to be in this build. But so in terms of pathfinding, Dungeon Agreed, I used this plugin that was called... Well, actually, I don't know if I could actually load it up. I might be able to load it up and... not crash the game. But it uses what's called raycasting, and raycasting is pretty much how you detect where something is on a tile, but it ends up being slow. Like if you do a raycast of every location, it takes milliseconds. And in terms of how players move in One Bit Adventure, like a lot of players bump up their move speed to the point where you're moving almost instantly, and that's pretty bad. If there's a millisecond wait, you're going to end up moving like this, right? Even though your move speed's all the way up, it's going to be called a bug, and we don't want that. So yeah, look at this A-Star Pathfinding project. This is the plugin that I use. And if we go over here, go to AI Pathfinding. Don't mind all of this because I don't remember any of this that I had created. This was, yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh, we have a bunch of errors on the update. I don't even know if this is going to work, actually. Actually, the dungeon gameplay might work. No? Dungeon generation test. Okay. Yeah, and this was the one. Yeah, this is. It's not notice. Oh, wait. They're not even. Look, they're not even working right now. They're not. No. Okay, so this was from a long time ago where I was messing with it and it just was not working, and so I kind of gave up a bit because the A-Star Pathfinding was the major problem in terms of getting the enemies to move. And again, I don't know why. Okay, he doesn't want to move. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't want to move. It might be the grid, but yeah, we're not going to dive into too much. But what essentially was happening was anytime I move, this enemy just would stop the whole entire game for a split second, calculate the A-Star Pathfinding, and then it would move. And that would force you to wait, which was a problem. And so this game is actually going to be... This is my main project, but I don't have the resources, but I also don't want it to be the multiplayer test subject. And Rogue Together... Oh, sorry, my dog is going to be crying. Let me be right back and see if I can calm him down. But essentially, Rogue Together is going to be the main project to be a test for multiplayer, but also the pathfinding. Help me resolve it so that it's instant and not a millisecond is wasted. So, alright, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Actually, I'll have you listen to what music? You guys can listen to the wrong one. Where's the music? Is it this one? Yeah, okay. You get to listen to the Rogue Together music and how it sounds, so. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have it on repeat. That was my fault. Okay. All right. Now that I'm back from taking care of my dog who's going outside, so I do apologize for not having the music on repeat. Um yeah, so yeah, this song was made by Scotty Rich. He essentially dog is no more. Don't say that. He's still here. Um Scotty Rich made a lot of the music for One Bit Adventure, and he has helped with making a music for Rogue Together. And as you can tell, another just straight 5-star music right there. So definitely, he's in the credits of One Bit Adventure. So if you want to check out his music, and also the One Bit Adventure music is in the credits in One Bit Adventure. So how cold is it? It was like 5 degrees yesterday. Right now it's like 30 something degrees. Yeah, I live in Wisconsin, so it's been pretty cold a bit. Having to be outside, but I gave him a haircut. He's lucky I didn't give him a bald haircut, because then he sometimes I feel like he deserves it, but no, I was nice to him this time. Um, all right, let's go back into talking about Rogue Together. What is it, and the whole story behind this? So, um, as you can tell, Dungeon and Greed, everyone loves how Dungeon and Greed looks. The unfortunate part is it requires a lot more resources, and I also didn't want it to be my first multiplayer game. For as much as I wanted to work on it, I also got frustrated at times, and some of the things were the A-star pathfinding, the lag that maps presented, and also the amount of animations needed to even get a good looking trailer. Like the gameplay itself is, eye catching in terms of like how the environment looks. Cluely, I gotta thank Cluely for he created the original sprites for this and also One Bit Adventure. But at the time, this was the only map. Like, I didn't have any other map, so I couldn't present a trailer showing like a mossy dungeon, a lava dungeon, a dungeon filled with water. I didn't have all the sprites, and it was one of those things where it's just like a balance between, if I even go through this, am I even gonna make a good multiplayer where the actual AI doesn't lag every single like second, So I decided to work on Rogue Together, and Rogue Together, for as much as like how simple it is, it was my idea of trying to bring the old into the new, but also making oh wait, this is a trailer image, not the gameplay. Bring the old into the new, but also being the multiplayer test subject, but also being the solution to my A-star pathfinding. So right now the letter A is an ally, and he's attacking the enemy, and it's all A-star pathfinding that's done with no lag in between. Like literally he's moving and I'm not lagging at all. And that's the one problem that I had with Dungeon Agreed I could not solve, and thanks to working on Rogue Together I was able to figure it out. Another thing I figured out was vision. I didn't mention this yesterday. I forgot about that. So vision was one of the things that okay, what I should say is ray casting heavy in terms of when you use a bunch of raycast to show which spot you're looking at. So this room is completely dark in terms of your vision. You only see this dot. But when you step into the room, that's when the dots appear. But in order to get that to work flawlessly, I was using 3D raycasting, but not in a way that it was efficient enough to run. So imagine a bunch of enemies trying to decide if they have a vision on you, and displaying the tiles that they have vision if there was a light source. That I ended up solving with Rogue Together. So essentially, Rogue Together was just more simple for me to understand. And maybe it's just my years of experience of finally getting it together, or maybe it was the stress of understanding I might not do well for Dungeon Agreed. And so I decided, well, I'll just work on this project because it was much more simpler. I don't have to worry about sprites or animations, but I did have to think heavily on what will make this game fun and enjoyable. The biggest portion being that I needed to feel like 1-bit without having it be 1-bit. So this is Rogue Together, and this is this is gonna be. Oh, I'll get to that. Let me just double check. So this is essentially it is going to be available as a premium game on Steam. So the price for this is going to be $10, and that includes the story mode and multiplayer, where you can play with up to 4 friends, as well as story you can play up to 4 friends. It'll be $10 on Steam. But on mobile, because I understand mobile is very different, mobile will be free to play with ads. And to unlock the ad-free version, it will be $5. And compared to all the other price points in different games, I think $5 is fair enough on mobile. While on PC, $10 was a good price point, because when I looked at other Rogue games that were in similar genres, they're a little bit higher, but I try to bring it down to more affordable. So $10 for the PC. So free to play in the mobile aspect. So the ads will happen between dungeons, and also you will be able to play the full story free to play. So that's going to be the whole thing about it. So I am still using Unity. That's still one thing haven't shied away from, only because I'm just very much more comfortable with using Unity. I've tried using GameMaker, and then when I discovered that multiplayer only works on Opera browser, I was like, well, that's not multiplayer, so I'm not gonna go into that. So yeah, I mean, and that's the whole aspect, Chanto. I appreciate you being a big supporter of the game. I know you've been there like almost from the very beginning. It's one of the parts where it's like, the mobile market has always been like that, and it has to do with how large of a device you're playing it on. So when you think of mobile, you think of a small portable device, while if you're on PC, you got this, big monitor in front of you. Therefore, the value of that game is more because of it. So I think that's one of the things. But then I also feel like myself seeing the mobile market is like, there is a lot of different strategies to make money, and a lot of it is pretty pay to win. Yeah, let's just say pay to win. A lot of games on there pay to win. So it kind of makes it very much something like questionable for people to spend more money than they would on PC. So understandable. So yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Mobile games, their revenue is from either microtransaction or ads. And if your game's not heavy on ads, then you're relying on microtransactions, which OneBit Adventure is heavily relying on microtransactions in terms of diamonds and prestige tokens. But I've tried going the ad route, and it's not... It pushes more people away than it does bring people together. So, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't necessarily do it. It would be nice, but it's not going to be friendly to play a game that's just spamming, ads. And I'm sure there's going to be a handful of people that would be like, yeah, I would watch a bunch of ads just to keep the game alive. But the majority of players are very hardcore, and I don't want to push hardcore players away from the game that they love and play. So, yeah. So Rogue Together is actually so going on to the portion of what what you can expect. So Rogue Together is actually going to be I want to kickstart this game on Kickstarter, and right now I'm working on the trailer for Rogue Together in terms of getting it together in terms of getting a Kickstarter page up and running. And if you want to, you can actually go to roguetogether.com to sign up and get notified of the Kickstarter. I have not, will not send other emails out to you except for the Kickstarter launch. So if you sign up on on roguetogether.com, promotional emails are the only emails where it's like, if you want the latest updates about Rogue Together in terms of content and anything after it launches on Kickstarter, or promo codes, you can sign up for that. But you can unsubscribe at any time. That's just optional. It's not like you really have to get the promotional emails to get notified of the Kickstarter. So my plan is what is going to take is trying to get Rogue Together kickstarted so that financially I don't have to worry, but also I can bring more things to the game. In terms of marketing, in terms of music production, in terms of content, in terms of trying to get another developer in and help out with the game, all of that is going to be part of the Kickstarter goal for the main purpose of getting this out there. I want to say end of March is going to be the estimated date for when we do launch the Kickstarter. Expect more videos about Rogue Together, and in terms of spreading the word, please spread the word. Please take the YouTube link, share it, post it. I want to get as much people to see Rogue Together for what it is, which is essentially taking Rogue and making it multiplayer. So if you watch the video on YouTube, that video is reminiscent of me showing how Rogue is and why hasn't it really kicked off to be like this multiplayer sensation, because we do get a lot. I do get a lot of requests about OneBit. Why not OneBit have multiplayer? Well, OneBit is based off Rogue in terms of the movement, although Rogue has diagonal movement, and we ended up working on diagonal movement on this game too. So that's something different from OneBit Adventure. So yes, essentially, I want Rogue Together to kickstart in order for me to succeed, so we can get to Dungeon of Greed. That almost rhymes in a way, but it almost rhymes in a way. But yeah, that is essentially the goal. OneBit Adventure has kept me financially like full-time indie developer, but it's not enough to go into Dungeon of Greed, and it also is a problem where I cannot support it financially by myself. Therefore, Rogue Together is my step up in order to try to get the revenue needed so we can get to Dungeon of Greed. So that's the main thing. And now going back to the main question, the chest is another idea for how to increase the amount of rewarded ads, and it's not yet finalized. It is more or less an idea. So if your VIP star chests are essentially double loot, and in terms of players, if there are loot in there, you can double the amount of loot you can get. This affects the equipments, the items, and even diamonds in the chest. So it's typically the idea is, well, I don't want to place more ads that block between your like gameplay. So this is more of optional. You You can watch the ad to get double loot, or you could just take whatever is in the chest. So, all right. Let's see. You want me to add a sandwich? I can add a sandwich. If you got a sandwich, I'll add it to the game. Yeah, why not? Someone on Discord, add a sandwich. Sprite, 16 by 16. It'll be in the game. And my dog's trying to jump. Okay, just don't cry, doggy. Don't cry, Yoshi. Yeah, so this is my idea for what I have planned for OneBit Adventure 1.3 update, as well as the new Rogue multiplayer, which is Rogue Together. Will OneBit Adventure collaboration with other games in the future? I mean, I don't mind it. It really is up to other developers to reach out to me and be able to collaborate with them. So, could you add a rocket launcher? I mean, this guy has a rocket launcher. I can't add equipment of a rocket launcher, as most of the ideas in the game are based off medieval times. It's not necessarily like... well, I would say, with the exception of the talking minotaur... Well, no, the talking minotaur is in the fantasy realm. The talking dinosaur, there's just a lot of random quirks, but weapons like that, a bazooka is not something I would end up adding as a weapon. In terms of classes, so you can expect majority of the classes. I want to say majority because I can't guarantee. The one thing I can't guarantee is how Blood Knight would work. But for sure, Warrior, Wizard, Necromancer, Pyromancer, Archer, Thief, they are all going to have their own symbol in terms of them being in the game. There are requests for a Bard. That is certainly something I want to do, is add more supportive classes that will buff other characters in your party. So yeah. Well, my dog is crying again. This is gonna be something I have to try to see what I can do. If there's any other questions, I'm going to mute myself for a bit. I'll play the music again so you get where you guys can have something to listen to, and then try to take them outside once again. Let me make sure it actually is looping. No, it's not. Okay. There we go. Alright, I'll be right back. All right. We're going back. Okay. So are you going to base the classes off one or both professions? For which game? OneBit Adventure or Rogue Together? We still got two more professions. But for Rogue Together, I mean a lot of the professions in OneBit Adventure is gonna, yeah, RT, yeah, okay, so it is going to be base. Of course, we're gonna have a different sort of trajectory in terms of damage scaling. So a lot of the things that are gonna transfer over in terms of skills, active, passive, they will be similar. But yes, it's some of the classes will be based off of it. So they are going to be what is considered like a tree where you can just you go one route and then you can branch off into another route, and that would determine what kind of subclass you are. So you are a warrior, but you also have cleric abilities, or if you're a warrior and you have this set of profession. So it's more or less trying to get into a new idea for it. So yes, you can expect some of the professions to make a comeback, but you can also expect that it is going to be a different way to get those skills. It's not going to be the instant Wizard Sapius route, because I think I'm going to try something different with it. So yes, and that is true. Support classes don't exist in One Bit Adventure. Um, and I think that was one thing is I don't want warrior just to be a support class. I want there to be ways for people to go the support route. So as a necromancer, being a crowd control sort of thing, it's more or less, can I diverge and try to do more support skill sets? So yeah, it's going to be one of the things where it's just like um it's one of those things where it can happen, but it's not the main priority. You know, as a warrior, you want to be all out damage and be the front guy. But if there is another subclass with that option, it's possible. Not going to be the craziest. It's not going to be as much of a good support as a bard. But yeah. Yeah, I guess you could say. Yeah, you could say that. You could say similar to Diablo. Hmm. Yeah, you could say it's similar in terms of how supports would work. Yeah. Um, but for sure, the main thing in terms of Rogue Together, everything is action, not action based. It's turn based in the sense of when enemies attack, it's based off a unit of action points. So the dot underneath, which it's not, this is just a prototype, just so you guys know, it's all prototype. The dot underneath means how many turns that enemy will take before they end up taking an action. So, so the more players attacking it, the longer that enemy will take in order to attack. Therefore, it's in your best interest to have more than one player attacking an enemy, for the sake of them having longer turns to attack. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's going to be new strategies. There's going to be ways of kiting enemies, and you're just able to not take damage. But for the majority of time, it's going to be all about overwhelming the player with different enemy types. And that's going to be one of the things that we'll be experimenting. So, so yeah. But yeah, this is it. This is Rogue Together. Yeah, I kind of figured it was going to be closer to the 1.5 hour mark, but then my dog Yoshi was getting the best of wanting to go outside. But and there's the exit. We go to the exit, and then we spawn into a new dungeon. The story of everything, there's going to be there's going to be two modes. There's going to be the story mode, which is sort of like basically it's going to be transitioning from 1-bit into Rogue Together world, how you got into that world. And then there's going to be the endless dungeon mode, which is essentially endless. You go as far into the depths as you possibly can. So, uh, what is the thing above the enemy? Oh, that one is actually a test for NPC. So it's not finalized. That's supposed to be an exclamation mark symbol, but it's not. I have to edit a lot of the fonts. Like a lot of the fonts, I had to edit in order to get it to look right or feel right. The exclamation mark above that E is a test for an enemy. Not a test for an NPC. Sorry. And NPCs will have the story similar to 1-bit in terms of what your decisions make as a party. That sort of stuff is going to be part of the game. So, do you want this game to be a fast-paced dungeon crawler or slow it down and make decisions actually matter? So, this is one of the things I want is for it to be a mix of how you feel like playing. Because when I look at players playing 1-bit Adventure, like even though it's turn-based, they are fast-paced. They want it to go fast because they're trying to get the highest steps as fast as possible. While it's different in terms of this being dungeon crawling, like we're trying to navigate a maze sort of, and you're just trying to make it to the exit. There's going to be ways to navigate faster, but in terms of fast-paced dungeon crawling, if, for an example, you take your time, you can observe more, and your friend that loves going fast-paced can go fast-paced because they don't have to wait for you to move. As long as the enemy's aggro to you, you can take your time. So it's literally me trying to mix the best of both worlds. And if you both wanted to go fast paced and attack enemies as fast as possible, that is still turn based, you know? Like it's one of the things that's like, how can I call this turn based when it feels real time, you know? And that's a good question for everyone to think of when they're playing the game. I've seen other games that have made a chess game, but there's rogue themes in the game. I have seen that. I forgot what the name of it was though. Man. No, it was it was some barbarian game. Now I'm trying to remember. It was on the App Store actually. Let me see if I can find it, but I don't think I remember. When your friend goes fast paced, dies instantly because he runs straight into 5 enemies. Yeah, that's gonna be the best part. Will there be a way to communicate between party members? Right now, because it's gonna be between mobile and PC. One of the main things is a chat log will be something I want. I'm not trying to go into like the emoji route or maybe a ping system, but I still haven't decided between that in terms of communicating without it being too much of a hassle. Um, what is your background in playing old school Rogue or ASCII roguelike games? My background, to be completely honest, like I want to say when it came to Rogue games, I played it. I played it when I was little, but for the life of me could not understand it, or I would rage because it was just too much for me. So I was not an elite ASCII player in terms of playing roguelike games back in the days. But what interests me now is because I think Pixel Dungeon was the main interest, and that is similar to Rogue, except it's point and click. Which also bothers me is that Rogue games don't have controller support, and that's one thing I like. Try to look on Steam and see if they have controller support, but most of them don't, and I want to change that with Rogue Together. So let me see if I could find that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I could find that game. Yeah, I thought I could find it, but maybe it was called something else. I don't know. There was on the Google Play Store, there was like a barbarian rogue game that sounds similar to what you're. Oh, Pawnbarian. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. This might be a game that you're interested in. Pawnbarian. Um, it's gonna show all my stuff that I've been to. Okay. Well, let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm in incognito mode, but it's still gonna show every link that I've been to. So let's just hide that. Let's see. Pawnbarian? Oh man, I probably spelled it wrong. Oh, it's also on Steam too. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is the rogue-like chess game, and I'm pretty sure this is something in the lines of what you're looking for. I remember seeing this game. I didn't buy the game. It was on Steam and also Google Play. But they do have a lot of different rogue features. And of course, if you understand chess, you'll be able to understand how each piece moves. But yeah. Pawnbarian. That's the one that you're going to want to look for. And it's still not wide known. Surprisingly, I actually thought like the graphics for this game would actually make it more popular. It might be more popular on the mobile market though. You have extensive background with it? Yeah, you can definitely be part of the building of the rogue feel. I think I did buy a book, multiple books on rogue, uh, simply because I wanted to dive in without being like searching on the internet. So I found popular books that was uh, what is it called? Yeah, there's a bunch of books, but definitely you can help be part of that uh, development process and planning process, because by the time the game does reaches on Kickstarter, it's not the final like every detail, but it is going to be a lot of the core features and concepts will be presented there. Oh man, just want to say I love your game and you're a great dev. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys that have been a part of the game, and hoping for great success in the future in terms of working on more games like OneBit Adventure. Yes, go to your class, Oliver. Best of luck. Thank you. Yeah, we can have a Discord call after the stream. Yeah, we'll end the stream in 12 minutes or so. Um, but for sure, if you guys help Rogue together get to the Kickstarter goal, I still haven't finalized exactly the rewards and exactly everything that's part of it. Actually, I will show you a bit of what I have. It's not per se final. I didn't show this yesterday, but since I have tools to hide the screen, I'll just be able to do it without showing any other information. That's the only problem. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see if I could find it. Yeah, I thought I could. Oh yeah, I could preview it. Okay, I could preview the page. Okay. So this is a preview of the Kickstarter page. I don't have a goal yet. It's not 30 days to go. It's still really much not even launched at all. But if you go to roguetogether.com, you'll be able to sign up to get notified when this comes out. There is going to be closed beta pledge for you to get access to the game. The mobile version is still going to be free to play. $5 to unlock the whole game, and you basically get the game without having to watch ads, because that's the main thing. $10 is going to be the base game. And ignore the fact that it's saying get one for each, but it's still not finalized. So I don't want to scroll down too much because there's still other things I don't want to end up showing. But for the main thing being that no waiting turn-based multiplayer is going to be the main focus in terms of how I want to present the game. Like, this is a perfect example. You're attacking this enemy and your friend comes along and he hasn't attacked the enemy, but it's anytime he moves, it does not affect your gameplay elements until he decides to attack. So that's going to be the biggest part, and also the biggest solution for how Dungeon and Greed would work. And that's going to be the main key point: how to keep it turn-based, but don't require real-time movement. So yeah, that's what that one is. There's also going to be a scrolls. Mysterious Scrolls is more or less something that is a part of Rogue. The original Rogue, they had scrolls where if you use it, it's a random thing until you discover what it does. That is going to be a part of Rogue Together. And in terms of Kickstarter, you'll be able to create your own mysterious scroll, and with a pledge, you can actually create your own scroll. So yeah, it's more or less going to be a mix of community support as well as Kickstarter goals to try to reach the finish line. And that's most of what I have in terms of Rogue Together. I still need to work on a trailer, and once I get that trailer up, I'll send a message to everyone who signed up. I'll also show it on Discord, ping everyone, let them know, hey, Rogue Together trailer's out, and then here's the Kickstarter page, and we're going to try to get as much people into this as possible. So yeah, that is that is mainly it. If there's any other questions, I think I am going to be wrapping it up. I just don't know if I missed anything. I think that was most of it. For upcoming, in terms of if we do succeed in Rogue Together Kickstarter, I will be uploading at least monthly to let you know the progress of Rogue Together and what you can expect for the game. I am estimating at least either end of next year or beginning of the following to at least get this game done. Like, to have the story be as fantastic as possible, to have as much professions in the game for each character class, and having as much nice secrets that everyone loves about OneBit. So yeah, definitely it's going to be something I am gonna like invest as much time into it. As soon as OneBit Adventure 1.3 update really like kicks off and launches, then it'll be working on Rogue Together to get that from start to finish. So so yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think that's pretty much it. So I want to say, oh, you're interested in what does the percentage does? That's actually the characters. So you got the @ symbol. That's a thief. I want to say percentage is wizard. The and sign. Oh, I can't remember the and sign. It might be pyro. I don't remember. Exclamation, that's actually just the quest marker, and then E for the enemy. So there's going to be a lot of different symbols that you might have to adjust to understand, but the transition from the beginning story is going to be it's going to show in terms of how you get in terms of how you get from character to your ASCII symbol. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And in terms of how much enemies, I'm gonna be working on ways to make it so that you can have more than just 26 enemies. Because in traditional Rogue, I believe they use 26 enemies, all the letters or something like that. I forgot what it was, but we're gonna try to break the barriers and exceed that in different ways. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. There's going to be more things coming in, and just be excited for it, and know that I am going to be working on it. So so yeah, lowercase, uppercase, 52. Yes, that is true. 52 for lower and uppercase. But yeah. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank you all for joining in the live stream, and I want to say thank you for making me a full-time indie developer with OneBit Adventure, and I look forward to like bringing you guys Dungeon Agreed, and I look forward to bringing you guys Rogue Together, and I do need your support in spreading the word. Grab the link to the last video, let other people know, share it, post about it, and direct them to roguetogether.com, and we're going to try to get as much people in it as possible. I don't have a donation link. I'm going to rely on Kickstarter to get donations. If that makes sense. It's going to be something I'll post about it on the YouTube channel. So let's make this happen. I'm going to be doing a lot more. After I get this trailer done, I'm going to be doing a lot more in terms of trying to get people to talk about it, try to get people to show it. And you guys heard the music. It is going to be like top tier music. Scotty Rich definitely has been on a roll with music. So, but yeah, so excited. OneBit Adventure being brought into Rogue Together, the sequel. I want to thank you all for being a part of this live stream. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. And just look forward for the next update will be the balance update, along with the color change update. That's going to be together. And then following that, we'll be focusing on the two professions, Thief, Archer, and the Enchanted Forest. Steampunk Dungeon is going to be canceled, or delayed, I should say, for a later date. And then will be the story update, which is considered the 1.3 update. So definitely, thank you guys. Again, thank you, and I will see you guys later.